Hello, witches. This video is going to be on LaBenandanti. In Strega tradition, LaBenandanti are considered the good doers or the good walkers. They are a group of Dianic witches, basically, or followers of some of the old pagan traditions, but in the beginning they did not associate themselves as being witches. They associated themselves as being anti-witch and practitioners of white magic, per se. And they were considered to be people that were able to spot witches in order to cast them out or persecute them. Becoming a Benandanti was not something that somebody chose on purpose. It was considered an act of the fates. A person born with a call on them, which is an extra, like a skin that's over a baby when it's born. And this call would be dried out in the sun and folded up in order to be worn around their neck. It was kept folded in some kind of a like cloth thing and a string or a ribbon attached to it so that it could be worn. It wasn't something that would ever smell or become gross. It became sort of like a piece of leather or a thicker piece of parchment. That's how it's described. And it's treated with very, very carefully so that nothing happens to it, because it's considered a very sacred item. So these people were considered do-gooders, although during the times of the prosecution of witches, they did come under some attack. Some of them were prosecuted alongside of people that were declared to be witches. But somewhere in the 1600s, eventually they did start to call themselves witches. I think around 1640 or so. They began to call themselves witches and practitioners of white magic. But before that, they would deny anything to do with witchcraft and say that they were warriors for Christ. Part of the reason for the Benandanti, I think, being accepted the way that they were is that when Christianity came and the Catholic Church started to take over rule in Italy, the people were very concerned that the festivals that they had previously had that were intended to make their crops and their harvests be successful, they were afraid that if they stopped honoring the gods and goddesses and they stopped performing these ritual acts, that their crops would not be successful anymore, that some kind of a curse or something bad would befall them, and they would not have as much success with their harvest and with, planting and all of that. So in order to still be able to celebrate these rituals, they needed something to basically disguise it as being a good thing and being Christian in nature. And these Benandanti, who were considered warriors for Christ and do-gooders, but not witches, because, with the Catholic Church ruling now, they couldn't call themselves that. But basically, they were still doing the same thing. They were still having the pagan celebrations, but under the guise of being Christian. So I thought that was a little interesting information, and I hope you enjoy. Bye.